Trees are around us almost everywhere that we go. That much you already know. What you probably didn't know is that some trees have untapped potential to become edible resources. Today, I'm going to show you guys some of the trees that are edible, and I'm going to throw them into a salad at the end of the video. The first tree that I want to go over in this video is the Norway Spruce tree, which I've already talked a lot about on this channel. But basically, this tree is still putting on a lot of new growth later into the season, which is great to see. I'm sure that this will taste great in our salad. You just have to remember to put it in moderation, because too much of it creates an unpleasant texture. So I'm only going to take about 6 or 7 of these tips, and I think we'll be good to go for a salad. Here we have an American elm tree, not to be confused with a field elm tree, which I'll show you guys in a minute. The American elm is the perfect example of a tree which is overlooked for its edible qualities simply because of the stigma surrounding trees that says that they can't be eaten, which is just not true. Here you can see the toothed margins surrounding the leaf. That's an important identification feature, as is the 2 diagonal lines converging at a center vein here. So there's a lot of really simple identification tricks that you can use to identify the elm. That on top of the fact that a lot of people are already familiar with it, and you have a fairly easy wild edible to identify. This is the field elm that I was talking about earlier. It looks nearly identical to the American elm upon first glance, but there are a few identifying characteristics which set it apart. So I'm going to compare the leaves, which is the only true way to tell them apart. Side by side, you can see that the veins on the field elm are much further set apart than the veins on the American elm. Additionally, the teeth on the field elm are much more defined than the teeth on the American elm. However, it's very hard to distinguish these, especially when you don't have the luxury of having both varieties at your immediate access. So it's not incredibly important to identify them separately. I just thought that this would be a little interesting bit. But as long as you know that the tree is the elm, you should be fine. These are the distinctly mitten-shaped leaves of the Riverbank Grapevine. Now I know grapes are technically not a tree, but close enough. I'm just going to go with it. Here are the eventual grapes, which is another great identifying feature. That's what really makes it pretty obvious, but if you need any more proof, you can analyze the tendril which they're actually growing on. This is the tendril here. You can see this is a great snack to have out in the field, as well as something that you can bring home and put in a salad, which is what I'm going to do here. But these are really tasty. They taste almost sour, as do the leaves, so this is a great find. This is the white spruce tree, and you can see if I zoom in on these actual needles here, it's much paler than the Norway spruce tree, which is one way to set them apart. I've been over this one a lot on my channel recently, so I'm not going to go too into depth here. You can check out some of my other videos. The link will be in the description. But anyways, this is a great find. It'll add a lot of flavor. You just have to make sure, again with the spruce tree, to pick in moderation. As our last tree of the day, we have an eastern white pine. And we're not actually after the needles here, but rather we're going to be after some of this newer growth that's coming off of what's eventually going to become the stem. But right now, that little bit right there is going to be super good. It'll almost taste savory, so that'll be just a nice little topping on the salad to add on. Alright guys, we are back in my kitchen, and I got a few extra things just to give the salad a little bit more vibrance, but other than that, I think it's insane the amount of greens that we were able to get from foraging trees. So I can already tell this is going to be a massive salad, but in the meantime, I'm going to show you guys what I got from foraging out in the field. Kicking things off in the top right corner, we have some Riverbank grape leaves. Now these have an underlying sour taste to them, but when you add them into a salad in moderation, it's not too overwhelming and it's actually quite pleasant. Here we have some elm leaves, and these stack up like playing cards as far as salad construction goes. So to add a little bit more airiness to the salad, I got some hedge mustard greens. Here we have some Norway spruce needles. Here are the white pine needles, or rather the white spruce needles. this is the white pine. This is eastern white pine tips. We have some grape tendrils here. And then up here we have some flowers that I got just to add some color. We have the red clover and the bird's foot trefoil, which is another variety of clover. So all in all, this is going to be a really great tasting salad. I hope you guys enjoyed the foraging aspect of this video. Now let's cut to the cooking montage. Guys, that is going to be it. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you did, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will make sure to put out more content just like this in the future. Tell me what your favorite type of video is so that I know what type of video to keep putting out more of. I will catch you guys in the next video. Peace out, plant people. Goodbye.